Hi friends, so this is my first ever YouTube channel, and the motive to create this kind of channel is to teach you guys about the SQL, or we can say SQL. So everyone, most of the people knows about the SQL. This is very basic, and so without wasting our time in the history and geography and everything about the SQL, now we are going to teach you about the types of SQL, how SQL works, how the commands works, okay? And I can give you one guarantee that after seeing my videos and my classes, your SQL things, or your SQL introduction and everything basics, I can say that your SQL basics is very much going to clear about it. And from the start of my class, I am going to teach you with the help of board, okay? Just like in our classes. Then I'm going to teach you the commands and everything with the help of my SQL tool, okay? And yeah, so before moving that, do like and subscribe my channel, okay? So that it motivates me and I can show that you're interested. Then I can make more videos, because I am itself a Power BI as well as SQL developer, so I can teach you about the basics, the issues we are facing every day, the bugging we are faces. So these all things are I can teach you, or I can tell you how to get it from it, okay? So yeah, so SQL. So basically there is a five parts of SQL, as you can see this, okay? So first is the DDL. So basically what is DDL? DDL is the data definition language. Okay, so why we are saying this as a DDL, or data definition language? Because with the help of DDL commands, we can create, or you can say we can define the structure, database, or any table or view. Okay, that's why it is called as DDL. And the next is DML. DML is what? Data modification or data manipulation language. Why it is said as data manipulation language? For example, we updated one table or one database, then now we have to do the modifications, or something we want to add up, we want to delete, or whatever the thing is, then we are going to use the DML, means data manipulation language. The next is DQL. What is DQL? DQL is basically data query language. Okay, so for example, I have a book, okay, and I can give you that book or database, you can say, and then I can ask you that can you please give me the data from Delhi students, those are in between the age of 20 to 23. So over here, data definition language or DML language will not work at all. So for that kind of issues, SQL introduced the DQL, means data query language. Okay, I think this part is going to be clear very much, because people are getting confused about why we are using the why we are not able to use the DML and DQL as the same, because it's very much clear that DML is the data manipulation language and DQL is the data query language. DML to modify, to update, or to do any kind of modification in your database or in your table. But DQL is used to do the query from the database. It's just like I'm going to ask you about things, then I'm going to ask you what's your age, what's your from where you belong, what is your native language. So these kind of things we are going to use DQL. I think it is pretty much clear. Okay, so the next is DCL, data control language. Okay, so if there is a database, then there must be so many people, those are getting into the database, they want some data, everything. So for that we are using the DCL, means data control language, so that we have that control on our database. For example, this is my database, okay, this is my database of a particular company or a particular university, everything. Then I have this DCL. So when we are going to impose this DCL on our database, then we have a full control on our database. So that's why we are using the DCL, means data control language. Then the next is TCL. What is TCL? TCL is basically transaction control language. So whenever we are doing any kind of transactions or we are going to do, these are things basically used for a big purpose. Okay, we are going to discuss this in our upcoming classes, and you get to know that how much it is useful for you guys to understand the basics, the differences and everything. Because what I found that most of the new people or most of the freshers, they are getting confused between the DDL, DML and the DQL. I don't know why they are getting confused, why they are so much confused about which query or which command is used in DML, which command is used in DCL. I'm not getting it, but they are actually confused. So I can give you one guarantee that if you are taking my classes, if you are going through ahead, then you have a very much clear understanding about all these things, because I'm not going to teach you in a rush way. Okay, I'm going to teach you in a simple way, in a very modified way, so that you guys able to understand it. Okay, now we are going to teach you about the types of DDL. DDL means data definition language. As I earlier told you, when we are going to create any database, any table or anything, then we are using the DDL command, means data definition language. So here there is actually most 4 types of DDL, but in our organization I'm also using the 5 kind of DDL. So the first is create. What? Create, then alter, then drop, then truncate, then rename. Okay, now I am going to teach you one by one. Okay, so create. So what you guys are going to understand with the help of create? Any cases? You can comment on the, you can do your comments. Okay, so now without wasting our time, we can move ahead. So basically create, as I told you, when we are going to create any database, so with the help of create command, we can create any database or table. Got it? Then the next is alter. Alter means, for example, if I updated any table, okay, then I want to do some alter, means some addition or some deletion in that table, or then we are going to use this alter. Yeah, so there is one more question over here that people are getting confused between alter and delete also. Okay, then I will clear this kind of issues or this kind of misunderstanding in my upcoming classes, but today we are going to start with the basics. Okay, the next is drop. What is the meaning of drop? So when we are going to permanently drop the table or database, then we are going to use drop command. But guys, very much careful about the drop command, because whenever we are going to use this drop command, after that we are not able to retrieve our data. So that's why be clear about the drop command. Okay, the next is truncate. Truncate means if we are going to delete the data from the particular database or for the particular table, then we are going to use truncate. But there is one good thing about the truncate. The truncate does not affect the database structure. It deletes only the data, or it truncate the data only. It not delete the overall structure of the database. Got it? The next thing is rename. So for example, I already created one database. Okay, so in upcoming 2-3 years our database has been modified. There are so many new things, so many old things. So when we are going to add new things or new data, then we are going to use this rename option in the SQL command. So as you got it, there are basically 5 types of SQL: DDL, DML, DQL, DCL and TCL. And in the DDL means data definition language, there is a 5 things: create, alter, drop, truncate, as well as rename also. Because in most of the YouTube videos you are not able to see about the rename option, but we are going to use rename also, or we are going to teach you about the rename also over here. So thank you guys, do well, and we'll meet you in the next class. Bye bye.